Welcome everybody, you join us on lap 5 of the Japanese Grand Prix here for the Premier Formula Racing League. Early stages of this one, we've currently got Antanas leading the way by just under a second ahead of Badman. Badman's tracking his every move at the moment. These two very close out the front over these first few laps. Antanas seems very quick through the middle sector, Badman's quick through the first and final sectors. So overall they're pretty even over the course of the lap, but Badman's keeping Antanas on his toes out the front. We've seen Caleb and Mountain Storm have some interesting battles over these first few laps. Caleb made a small mistake, went wide through the Degners, which allowed Mountain Storm to maybe move up into third place. Then Caleb managed to get the move done with DRS down this straight on the previous lap. Looks like we might have a role reversal here though, as Mountain Storm's got the DRS, pulls to the outside, and it's going to make this move here into turn 1, and Mountain Storm are up into third place once again. Jordan Hillier in a very strong position here behind these two on the hard tyres, so the pace that he's got over the course of right now will be obviously not as good as what it could be in the future stints, because obviously he'll be on the medium tyres for maybe the second or third stints or whatever. So hard tyres will get you a long way into the race, they're not as quick as the medium tyres. So Jordan doing a fantastic job at the moment. Also a three battle here for 6th place. Smidge, Francisco and Julie currently going at it here. 3 in the line. You've got All Day KPB a bit ahead. Oh no, it's twisted there. Bins it on the exit Degner 2. Now what sort of damage is going to be on the car there? Surely there's going to be that was a hefty whack into the wall there. Let's have a close look. Looks like he's got away with that one. So looked like he might have just about killed the momentum. Maybe he got sideways just as he was making contact with the wall, which obviously prevented the end plate. If his wheels took the brunt, then he might be okay if he hit it side on, but he'll definitely have a scrape on that right front end plate, but maybe it is just a scrape. Seems to have got away quite lightly with that one. As the gap out the front just crept over a second here between Antanas and Badman, as these guys settling into a bit of a rhythm, but Antanas seems a bit more comfortable out the front. Badman's still well within undercut range, or just he's definitely in a position where he could be a problem to him. Jordan Hillier looking pretty racy on the back of Caleb right now. We've also got Francisco, who's got ahead of Julie, although is this job done? As they're still close here, and it looks like he is going to have that one done here coming through the S's. So Francisco, they're up into 7th place with that one. Tipster pretty close on Skadoosh as well in this fight for P10. C-Mac ahead of Twister. There's the driver who obviously lost it coming out of Degner 2 on the previous lap. Perp, Drank and Deuce just behind them. There's Dastardly Daddy, and you've got Dark Angel being passed there a big timer. Big timer up into 17th place with that one, and he's joined the session and has then left again, so I'm not sure what's going on there with him. It seems to be some kind of a major internet issue, I think. Jordan Hillier though, piling the pressure on the back of Caleb. His tyres I think starting to come into their zone a little bit here. Hard tyres take longer to warm up, but after about 7 or 8 laps you start to see a crossover in performance between the mediums and the hard tyres, so this could be Jordan Hillier's time to shine here. Well within striking distance here of the Alpine driver in front of him. If he gets a good drive out of this chicane, he'll have a good chance here to make the move into turn 1. I'll tell you what, I'll be very surprised if he doesn't make the move here into turn 1, although Caleb's still got DRS, so he was just about within the detection point there of the car in front, but Jordan Hillier doesn't care about that. He's up the inside here into turn 1. Is he going to get this move done? They're side by side, and Jordan Hillier with that tighter line, that shorter line through the corner, gets that move done up into 4th place, and that was a relatively routine pass there from him. So we see a few drivers into the pits here at the end of lap 7. We've got Smidge, Francisco and Skadoosh all in. Antanas is gapped to Badman about 1.5 seconds at the moment, still staying around the same. But Jordan Hillier now up into 4th place. Can he now chase down Mountain Storm, occupying that final podium position? The rate he's going, I wouldn't be surprised to see him in 3rd place by turn 1. He's going some pretty great guns at the moment, is Jordan Hillier. Seems to be on a bit of a mission, and you want to maximise these tyres whilst these other guys are still on their mediums, because once they've got fresher tyres they'll start to get the benefit over him, so he needs to try and get as much done as he can before these guys get those medium tyres off and get their fresh tyres on. But he's looking pretty close here on Mountain Storm at the moment, is Jordan Hillier. See a lock up there from Mountain Storm going into the chicane. Caleb here with DRS and Slipstream. To the inside he goes, and Caleb there making a move into 4th place. Beautifully done there from Caleb. So Jordan was obviously looking up ahead of him and has been passed now by the driver who he just overtook a lap ago, so couldn't shake him off. And Caleb here proving to be a bit of a thorn in his side. Obviously he's in the battle for the podium tonight himself. If these guys are battling, they might find it quite difficult to get into the fight for the win, but I think that's most likely, at least on the evidence so far, to be between Antanas and Badman. I can't see these guys getting involved in this at the moment. I think those two have just got a bit too much pace over the other guys here tonight, based on form that we've seen so far, but yeah, that could change. I wonder if Badman's just stepping back a bit, trying to stay out of the dirty air, prevent his tyres from getting too hot, or his brakes. Doesn't want to. Oh shit! Doesn't want to miss. Oh, for fuck's sake! Doesn't want to mess with the aerodynamics on the car. It's very easily compromised when you're running close behind a car in front. So Jordan Hillier is into the pits here at the end of lap 9. So he's coming in for an early stop, so is Julie. And so is All Day KPB, as well as Dastardly Daddy. So quite a few drivers here coming in, which is interesting to see. So they're getting the medium tyres off for the most part. I think we see soft tyres going on for Julie, which is quite incredible. We see Twister's also gone for the hard tyres. In fact, no, Twister came in a lap ago. Dastardly Daddy's gone for the mediums. All Day KPB's also gone for the mediums. But Julie for the soft tyres, inexplicably. But nonetheless, Caleb still on the back of Mountain Storm here as these two guys fight it out over the final podium place, with Jordan coming in for an early pit stop, getting those hard tyres off, which is a real head scratcher, because obviously the hard tyres, you know, the only real benefit of putting the hards on is to go long into the first stint, but obviously he's not happy with something. But nonetheless, Caleb here all over the back of Mountain Storm. He'll look to try and stay close here through the chicane and get a blast past down the main straight with the DRS. But it seems like he's a bit too far back to make anything happen here going into turn 1 this time around. Looking to the inside though, I'll tell you what, he had some fantastic overspeed there going into turn 1, but was just a bit too far away there and nothing doing. But I'll tell you what, I think for a second there I started to question whether or not I was right in saying he was too far away, and I thought for a split second there I might actually have to eat my words, but didn't have to be the case in the end. Francisco here's got ahead of Jordan up into P7. So obviously these two, well, both got the medium tyres on. Jordan came in a lap ago, should have better tyres in theory, but I think Francisco just got a bit of DRS there, right place, right time, managed to blast past. Julie's got ahead of Smidge up into 9th place now, going through the S's as well. But Jordan will want to get back ahead of Francisco ASAP. These two similar age tyres, but Francisco's been on them two lap older. So Jordan will be wanting to get on with this one, I'm sure about that. Mountain Storm and Caleb still going at it here for third place on the road at the moment. As we see Mountain Storm there into the pits, so that releases Caleb into some clean air now, can now pump in the laps, but Mountain Storm's probably going to get the undercut, because we know that usually if you come in a lap earlier on the mediums wear out quicker than the hards, so the difference in terms of the delta, or rather the amount of time that you gain on a lap on fresh tyres is going to be significant compared to the hard tyres. Mountain Storm's put a set of hard tyres on, so I would have thought we'll probably go to the end from here, because 16 laps left. Obviously he's done 11 laps on the medium tyre, it would make sense. But for Caleb, it's going a lap longer, so obviously we'll have 1 lap fresher hard tyres when he eventually comes into the pits, or maybe even 2 laps if he stays out longer than that. But Julie seems to have got ahead of Mountain Storm up into 8th place, so Mountain Storm on cold tyres has been caught out here by the Haas, as Darcy Daddy's got a 3-second penalty here for multiple track limit warnings. Jordan's got back ahead of C-Mac here, up into 5th place again. And Jordan also got it back ahead of Francisco. We didn't catch that one on the feed, but Francisco is now looking to the outside here of C-Mac, looking to strike around the outside of Spoon. He's now going to go for the cutback here, and with those fresher tyres he's going to make easy work of that one, and Francisco up into P6 follows Jordan through, but he's about a second behind him now, so he's lost DRS there to Jordan, which is obviously good for Jordan but not for Francisco, as we see Antanas, the former race leader, now into the pits. That now leaves Badman out the front for the time being, a driver who's been following him around for the first few laps of the race. What does Badman do in terms of the strategy now? Antanas has gone for the undercut, as well as already having track position anyway. But Badman and Caleb both staying out, interestingly. I wonder if these guys are planning on getting to about lap 17 or 18 and going for a set of soft tyres. That would be a very, very ballsy move. I don't think it'd be that crazy. If memory serves me correctly, and it's a while since I've driven this track, I've driven it on F124. The hard tyres do not work around this track. I don't know if it's the same on F125, but I remember on F124 the hard tyres do not work around this circuit at all. They last forever, but I think they're the C1, they're the hardest compound in the range for this track on the previous game. I don't know about this one, but yeah, something tells me the hard tyres just don't work on this game, or on this track, sorry, should I say. But nonetheless, Antanas, the former race leader, has already put them on, and Badman is now coming in to put them on, I would have thought. What about Caleb? Caleb's also coming in. These guys, I would think, if they want to get to the end of the race, would have to put the hard tyres on. Tipster, both got Jordan Hillier and Francisco in hot pursuit here, and they're both going to get DRS down this part of the track. Tipster staying out for the time being, but Jordan is going to blast past here down the straight, and also he's got to watch out here as Jordan, because he's got Francisco coming as well here, as they're both going to come out right next to the McLaren there of Badman, and Badman was running in second place. He's now behind Jordan and potentially Francisco. No, say they'd have Francisco, but Badman there is us out to Jordan Hillier, obviously, as Jordan came in 4 laps ago on those medium tyres. So Jordan's got to pit probably again here in this race. Badman doesn't have to pit again, but Badman is now 5 seconds behind his rival for this race, Will Antanas, who's now got a comfortable lead out the front of, well, over 5 seconds here. So looking pretty good at the moment is Antanas, the pole sitter. And he was on pole by quite a way as well, 0.3 of a second. He put it on pole ahead of Badman. Oh, pardon me. As Julie's got ahead of Tipster here, up into 5th place, although Tipster's not giving up here, as these two pretty close here into Spoon. But Julie gets it very nicely stopped there going into the corner, and Tipster not really close enough to have any say as they're coming out of the corner now. the meantime, Badman within half a second of Jordan as they're coming down the start finish straight here. He's got a great run now as Badman. He now looks to the outside to go around the outside of turn one. Is he going to have this one done on his fresher tyres? Badman is still got the Ferrari on his inside here. Jordan's not giving this one up lightly, but Badman's got that one done here as to go into the S's as he had the outside turn to the inside. And Badman now can try and chase down Antanas, who's got those one lap holder tyres, but is 5 seconds up the road here with 13 laps, including this one, left to go. So Badman's got a lot of work to do over the course of the next, well, 13 laps, 12 and a half now, but I reckon it might be a bit of a stretch unless Antanas makes a mistake or two, which is always possible. But in the meantime, you've got Mountain Storm and Caleb here, who I think are probably still in a fight for the podiums. Obviously they don't need to pit again, they can both go to the end on their hard tyres, so these guys have just got to be patient here, but they're going to be fighting each other, I would have thought, as well, which could affect both of them and their ability to try and chase after the podium positions here. But Auto KPB's got a 3-second penalty for track limits. That's the 4th track limit penalty that's been given out today, as Caleb looking to the inside there of Mountain Storm going into 130R, a bit too far away. He's going to now wait to try and have a go into turn 1, you feel, with the DRS. Tipster now with a 3-second penalty as well. They are being handed out willy-nilly here tonight. Julie's into the pits here at the end of lap 15. Here comes Caleb to the inside. Surely this is going to be a job done here for him, and it is beautifully done there. There's Twister ahead of Perp Dranks, Juice there in the background as Julie re-emerges from the pits. Tipster there, C-Mac a bit behind him there in P15 ahead of Dastardly Daddy, big timer just behind there in P17 with Dark Angel and Ernie. He's back behind the wheel there. That is Ernie himself, albeit having had to suffer the labours of the AI for much of the duration of this race, having not been at the wheel. See all their KPBs coming for a set of hard tyres here at the end of lap 16. But we're watching Francisco, who's trying to keep onto the back of Jordan here. This is for podium positions, but we believe both of these two have got to come into the pits again. Definitely Francisco will, or unless he does 18 laps on a set of mediums. I mean, that would be an incredible stretch. But obviously they've got the hard tyre runners behind them, the fresher hard tyre runners of Caleb and Mountain Storm not too far behind, so I don't think they'd be in the fight for the podium anyway. Even if they did go to the end, they'd probably be struggling to stay in the top 8 if they went to the end of the race from here. But Francisco trying to keep onto the back of the Ferrari as they come down this long back straight, which leads down towards 130R once again. And if Francisco can stay close to this part of the track, he'll be in a prime position to make the move into turn 1 with the DRS. Let's see how he's able to do here through this part of the track. Seems to just lose a bit of time there coming through that part of the track, and he's coming into the pits now, is Francisco. After 10 laps on a set of medium tyres, he's coming in, so he's going to try and do, I imagine, another 10 laps. Maybe on the hards this time, who knows, they could be the more reliable tyre, although mediums do seem a bit quicker. Around most tracks that I've seen recently on the F1 25 game, the hards are quicker over a 10 lap stint, but I think this is one of those tracks where the tyre air isn't so bad and actually you find that the mediums are the better tyre over a 10 lap stint, which is more aligned with what you'd expect to see on the F124 game. But on this game, typically it's the other way around. It's the hards that tend to do better over a 10 lap stint, but this track seems to be keeping more in line with what we saw in previous F1 games. In the meantime, the gap at the front is coming down, and it's coming down quite quickly actually. Badman has got the gap. It was about 5 seconds a few laps ago. It's now just over 2 seconds here between Antanas and Badman. So Badman's doing a pretty good job here of keeping the race leader on his toes. I don't know if Antanas made a couple of mistakes, maybe feeling the pressure, or what exactly the reason is behind it, but Badman definitely looking to kick on here and maybe throw the kitchen sink at him in the final few laps of the race. As Francisco's got ahead of Twister, obviously on his fresh tyres. Twister now mechanical under pressure from Bergdrank as well. And these guys have got Julie just behind them on 2 lap old hard tyres. He'll definitely be looking to try and make some seamless progress here through this pack in front of him. Dastardly Daddy's got a 3-second penalty for multiple track limit warnings. So Jordan in the pits to put, I would imagine, another set of... Oh, it's hard tyres for Jordan, okay. So Jordan playing it safe. Clearly feels that the harder compound is the safer one. And he's going to come out just ahead of Francisco here as well. So he's done brilliantly there as Jordan to retain track position. Francisco had a bit of traffic. That's probably the reason why, the main reason why he's been able to hold position. But Jordan still had to do a good in-lap there. And he's managed to do that one brilliantly there. Maintains P6. What's that going to be at the end? These guys are going to be hunting down the likes of Caleb, Mountain Storm and Smidge, albeit they're a long way up the road. They're about 15-20 seconds up the road, so they might be battling out over P6 here, these two. This might be a battle between the two of them, but Skadoosh has just got to juice up into P11 on his fresh medium tyres. Next up for Skadoosh will be Tipster, who's just about a second up the road at the moment, and I'm sure that Skadoosh should be eyeing up a top 10 here on these fresh tyres in this final stint. Badman's got the gap down to 1.4 seconds. He is absolutely flying at this moment in time. Bounced back brilliantly after Thursday night, which was the biggest blemish I've ever seen on Badman's copybook, but has done absolutely brilliantly here tonight to take this fight to Antanas. Qualified on the front row alongside him. In the first stint, Antanas seemed to have the edge, but on the hard tyres, Badman's really come alive. Has definitely been the quicker out of the two of them on the hards. I'd say Antanas had the edge on the mediums, but on the hards, there's no question Badman is the one who's got the momentum here. He's got the gap within a second now as well, so this is going to be exciting here. What has Antanas got up his sleeve to try and defend? Because Badman's got the pace. I mean, that's absolutely clear as day. So about half a second a lap quicker I make it. I calculate it out. So he's considerably quicker. Oh dear, have we got a safety car? I think we might have a safety car, you know. C-Mac has crashed out of the race. I can see a yellow dot going through turn 1. I think we may well have a safety car, and it's late on as well. This is going to be a 5-lap dash to the flag. Now what do these drivers do? This is going to blow the race wide open. Antanas pits. Does Badman pit? Yes, he does. So the 2 leaders pit, and I think the gap back to Caleb might be enough. Caleb might risk it and stay out on track for track position here. No, Caleb's coming in. Mountain Storm, I would have thought, would be also in. So yeah, it makes sense for everyone to come in here. But this is going to be a fascinating final few laps of the race here. Oh, I'm going to lie down for a minute. It's nearly my bedtime. Oh. Here we are then, guys. 4 laps left to go here for round 3 of the Premier Formula Sim Racing League here tonight, here at the Suzuka circuit for the Japanese Grand Prix. We've got Antanas leading us, but Badman has gone for a bit of a gamble here. He's put the soft tyres on. He's going to have a quick start to this stint, but the last couple of laps he might live to rue that decision. It's going to be close here, but he's going to be all over Antanas over these first couple of laps here on this restart. As we see Caleb there in 3rd place, you've got Francisco ahead of Jordan, who's running in P5 at the moment on hard tyres, which is I don't know how that's going to work out, but Julie nonetheless has moved ahead of Skadoosh up into P8 on those fresh soft tyres for the time being. Looks like they're all holding position other than that at the moment, but Badman here sticking close to Antanas at this point. He needs to try and make this move as soon as he can, so he can try and maybe build up a bit of a gap before his tyres start to absolutely hit the cliff, because it will not take long for those soft tyres to absolutely burn out in these final couple of laps of the race. But at the moment he's sticking to the task here. He's all over the back of the Mercedes as they come into the hairpin here with 3.5 laps left to go. Antanas has led this entire race, but Badman has been hunting him down over the course of the second stint. If it wasn't for the safety car, I think Badman would have hunted him down and probably got the move done. But here, with the strategy slightly changed up here, Antanas on the mediums and Badman's gambled it for the soft. Is that the right call, or is he going to be found a bit stuck here in the final couple of laps of the race? Here we come then, down towards 130R. No DRS will be available this time around. It'll be available on the next lap, as Dark Angels moved ahead a big timer up into P16 going through Spoon. That's a move there for 16th place. Caleb sticking to the back of the top 2 here this time around. Wasn't able to in the first 2 stints, but seems like so far he's been able to keep tabs with these guys as they're coming into turn 1 here on lap 25. Mountain Storm here very close to the back of Jordan Hillier as they go into turn 1. In the background here we've got All Day KPB going around the outside of Perp Drank. He's got him to 8th place there as All Day KPB. Got a Red Bull there all over the back of Dastardly Daddy. That's Juice there trying to challenge the Williams driver. But out the front they gap 0.3 of a second. A second separating the top 3 at the moment, as Caleb sticking to these 2 like glue at the moment. DRS will be available at the end of this lap, coming down the start finish straight, if Badman's got what it takes to stay close here to the back of Antanas. In the meantime, Julie has got been passed again by Smidge here, and Smidge is back up into 7th place there in that one. Or was it Perptran getting out of older KPB? I think it might have been. I just saw it. I did see a position change. In the meantime, Skadoosh has got ahead of Tipster up into P11. Although has he? Because he's still right there. And Tipster's going to have the inside for the Spoon. He might be able to make this move back on him here into the corner. He does. Slots himself in there perfectly. And I think that Skadoosh was trying to go for a cutback, but it didn't open up for him, as Tipster had it parked beautifully there. But we've got to go to the leaders here, because Antanas has got Badman all over him as they come out onto the start finish straight. He's going to have DRS. He's going to have Slipstream. Antanas looks pretty good though down the start finish straight. Badman's going to get the closing speed now. Which way is he going to go? He's going to go to the outside now, is Badman. He's going to have to go around the long way here. Antanas makes his car as wide as he possibly can. Badman can't find a way through, and this time Antanas survives. But can he survive another DRS zone? He's going to have one more shot, Badman, at the end of this lap to start the final lap, and then Antanas might just about be home and hosed there. But Badman had a crack, couldn't make it happen there. It was a little bit too far back there going out of the chicane. Is he going to save his ERS and maybe have another go here, because Antanas has used a little bit more than what Badman's used, so this could play into his hands. What about Caleb here? Is he just sat there waiting and thinking, you know what, if these two push each other too hard or run wide or run into each other, I'm going to be there to capitalise? Because he will be. He is right there in with a chance if these two get a bit overzealous here in this final lap and a half. But Badman giving it everything here to try and win this race. He's running second for pretty much the entirety. Antanas has led practically every lap until now, except for the pit stops. He's always been in control of this one. It will feel like a crushing defeat if he doesn't win this race, but Badman's gonna lay it all on the line. He doesn't care. as we're coming down towards the chicane once again. Now what can Badman do? Has a little look to the inside, trying to just put Antanas off a little bit. I'll tell you what, he's closer this time as Badman. This is a great chance, and Badman is about to potentially take the lead of the race here. Down the start finish straight we go with DRS as well. He's going to make the move to the outside again, but this time around he's way closer as he swoops around the outside into the lead of the Japanese Grand Prix here at the Premier Formula Racing League for round 3, and Badman hits the front for the first time in this race, and it is the final lap of the race. What has Antanas got to try and throw at him, to try and come back at him here? Badman has timed it to perfection here tonight. He's finally got the lead. He didn't have the minerals in the first stint on the medium tyres to hang with Antanas, but that second stint on the hards, Badman was clearly the quicker driver, and here in this final stint he's made the soft work so far, but these soft tyres could go at any moment. Antanas has got to stay close just in case Badman's tyres start to fail him on this final lap of the race. He's done 4 racing laps on these soft tyres, so they're going to start to feel a bit slidey now, as we just saw through the hairpin. Badman was not confident at all there coming through that part of the track. Antanas is going to have a chance maybe into Spoon, because the soft tyres are really going to be sliding through here, as you see. Oh my goodness me, and Badman's front end there was fully committed. The rear end absolutely wasn't, as they're coming down the back straight towards 130R. Badman's just got to park his car on the inside going through the chicane. He might... Oh, this is going to be tight here. Antanas to the outside now. The man who's basically led the entire race is going to try and take back the lead here into the chicane, but Badman's not giving him the opportunity here, and it looks like Badman's going to weather the storm as they come through the final couple of corners. Oh, Antanas there gets sideways, and that's going to give Caleb second place. Antanas there drops off of the out the top 2. He just comes over for a podium there. So Badman takes the win with Caleb second, Antanas third. Francisco takes P4 with Jordan P5. Mountain Storm over in 6th place. Julie 7th. Smidge 8th with Burt Drank over in 9th. Skadoosh completes the top 10. All Day Caper B finishes in 11th place here, ahead of Tipster, who's 12th. Juice comes over in 13th place, followed by Dark Angel, who drops to P15 behind Big Timer, who gets it on the penalties. And then we got, in fact, Twister gets P15 ahead of Dark Angel there with the penalties. And Darcy Danny will be the last driver to cross the line there in P17. But what a race that was. And Badman there nabbing the win on the final lap of the race, and Antanas gutting there, losing second place right at the end as well after leading practically the entire race. I'm sure he'll be frustrated with that. That's a hard lesson there for Antanas, you have to say. But that is that then for tonight's action here in the Premier Formula Racing League, and congratulations to Badman, but thanks to Badman and Antanas for putting on a great show and really giving us an exciting fight there over the course of that one, and Caleb there for getting second place in the end as well. But thanks to all the drivers, thanks to Premier Formula Racing League for having me once again on the comms, and we'll see you next week for round 4 of the season, same time as always, midnight on Monday morning. But cheers everyone, and we'll see you later.